Hey everybody, welcome to Tuesday. We're going to do some AI art today. Normally this is my Capture One Photoshop day. I've been doing just corporate headshots recently, so I haven't really had anything super artistic to play with. But we have a lot of great stuff going on in the AI world. So obviously we have MidJourney, which is doing their version 4 beta right now. So -- test and test P, which are more the photographic version. I did a quick video on that the other day, but today I kind of want to do something a little bit different. We've been focusing on MidJourney a lot here, and it's very exciting. But I kind of ran into something, and I think it's really cool, and I want to share it with you. And that is Stable Diffusion, which obviously most of you are aware of. If you're not, it is like MidJourney, but different. It creates a little bit different art style, and the two of them together are actually being used for some of this beta, or at least that's my understanding of how this thing goes together. The cool thing about Stable Diffusion is that it's, again, a completely different type of art style, and I want to show you what I did last night, because this is like one of those things I figured out and I'm like, what? I got to share this with the world. It's not simple to set up, unfortunately, and you need a pretty beefy machine to do it, but I've heard some other ways to do this, but I still want to share it with you. I'm not going to share how to do that because I don't want to bore everybody today. What I want to do is keep this day as kind of more of a Photoshop centered activity, so we can kind of play with the images and do some creativity that anybody can do. But I want to make that another video where we're going to be geeking out with that. So that was my weekend. Weekend was good. Yes, we did all kinds of things. Greetings from Switzerland. Switzerland is on my list of places to visit. It's on my bucket list before I die. So hopefully I'll make it over there someday. All right. Assuming you guys have all had a chance to pee, because you're going to wee a little bit when you see what I've been doing here. So I'm going to roll this over on the monitor here. And you ready? I mean, it's gonna be bad. I don't think there's any nudity in here, so I probably should have checked it, but I didn't. So there we go. Yoink. All right, here we go. So I did these yesterday, and you're gonna say, well, okay, Scott, whatever. That's fine. But what I would like to show to you is how many I did yesterday and how varied they are. And by the way, I gave into the, hey, you want a lot of fingers on your hands? Then fine. We're going to go ahead and play the game of, let's just not make humans anymore. Let's just go ahead and take the red pill and check this out. I was super happy with this one. I put that up on Twitter today. So, yeah. Anyway, so I did a ton of these yesterday, and I did them all in Stable Diffusion. And that's the thing that was kind of the shock, is to say, wow, I did something in Stable Diffusion that is very MidJourney-esque, like art-wise. So right now, even though MidJourney's going through its beta, and I played with it quite a bit and I had a lot of fun with it, once I stumbled on this and it's speaking to me, this is kind of what I got stuck on. So just a little heads up as to what are you working on in MidJourney? I'm actually not in MidJourney today. I was in this. So I did this one this morning and I threw it up on Twitter because I don't know if you saw this post I put up on Twitter. I felt bad about it actually later. Because I thought, well, what a jerk. I didn't mean to be like a jerk about it, but I'll show you this because it was really kind of funny. So here's the Cthulhu I put up there, by the way. By the way, every time one of you guys joins to support the channel, it goes ahead and tweets you out. So if you are supporting this channel, note that you're getting tweeted out here. A few of you have noticed and commented on things, which is pretty cool. By the way, the show, and it's a disappointment, bag of disappointment. Anyway, I have a nice slide with all your names on it. Although it was the one that's running at the beginning of the show, so I'll have to fix that. Darn it, I just updated it. But anyway, so all of you who are supporting are up here. But where's the yeah, this is the one we did the video of, by the way. By the way, these videos, like the one we're gonna do today, are gonna get cut. Yeah, your video didn't get cut. It was me going to a different slide. These images, or these makings of, are now all in the member area. So if you are a member of this, you'll notice that those have all kind of moved for you. I keep forgetting to put my face back up over here so you can look at the side of my head, because that's always awesome, right? Yeah. I wonder if you mind making a video about file management, since I'm using a lot of images pile up and get messed. Yeah, I use Bridge for everything, actually. Bridge is great. It's free. And you just organize things into the places you want to. And again, you can zoom around and look at different stuff. And if you hit the space bar, you make it full screen. And if you double click on one, it launches it in Photoshop. So this is a pretty, I like Bridge, and it's, again, it's part of your Creative Cloud you're already paying for, or probably paying for. What was I showing you in here? Oh yeah, let me find my notifications here because it was funny. It's, at least it was funny, and then I felt bad. Oh, so it was this post here about Stable Diffusion and so much potential, but I kind of put it in the unusable category. So this is the guy who owns the project, and he replied with I mean, it's got like a ton of reshares and stuff, but he replied saying it looks like a completely, you know, accurate angel to me. So I thought that was pretty funny, but neat that they're paying attention, and hopefully, I know he's teasing that the next version is coming out soon, which I'm excited for because I'm getting frustrated with the hands being everywhere and, you know, extra fingers. But as I said, I just kind of embraced it and went with it. So what I want to do today, so you're tired of me listening to me talk here for a minute. I want to take one of these and I want to kind of retouch it. And there's a few in here that I really like, but I think going with one that I really like and simple is fine. But I think it's more interesting for you guys if it's one that has a problem and we need to solve it. It's not so much that oh, you know, these are great and then all we have to do is, you know, upsize it or do whatever. But there's got to be something in here. There's a few in here that I really like, but they have a problem. So I was thinking about doing that one as just kind of a thing. I did some of these too, which was kind of cool. More of a steampunk look. I was just kind of playing with the more illustrated look. And again, these are all from Stable Diffusion, which is free. But I'm running it locally, and that's more of a challenge. I think maybe this one might be a good one for us to work on because it does have this little thing here we need to get around. Oh, that's like 2 seconds. But I really like this one. I did some different kind of painterly things down in here. Just kind of playing with it. Limited palettes is another one. We haven't really talked about that. I'm going to type this in the... I'm going to put it in all capitals. It's called a Zorn palette. And it's 4 colors. It's a limited colors. It's a red and kind of a yellow, kind of a red, kind of a yellow, a white, and kind of a black. And with that limited palette, you can produce muted imagery that's really cool to kind of say, I'm going to restrict the palette and make something different. So I've kind of liked some of these Zorn palette stuff I've been making. That's what this came from. Anyway, so then I was playing with these and getting some really interesting faces out of this thing. Again, when it wants to give me a face, it's fantastic. But if I gotta fight it, well, that's not good. And then it likes to do things with eyes from time to time. But I just thought we'd kind of work on a couple of these today because they don't require a lot, but I really want to do one of the weird ones because I love this chick here. I just really want to work on this one so bad because it's got so much impact. So I think that's probably what we're going to do unless anybody has any other thoughts. So let's work on that. That'll be fun. Okay, now I did not upsize this. We're just going to start from, yeah, there's my one from earlier today. That was pretty cool. Again, I like to add some stuff. This is the default image I was handed, then I added some stuff to it, which is what we're going to do to this one, because why not? We don't want to stop with the prompt. We want to continue to kind of make it our own. I think that's pretty fun. So yeah, hey, I really appreciate you guys hanging out today. We got Bobby, we got Owl music. You said we'd all have difficulty with it. What else we got here? We have Bartosz, who just signed up. Thank you very much for you guys for supporting the channel, because we're not doing it through advertising revenue, that's for sure. Let's get out the new tablet here. We'll go to the webcam. So XP Pen sent me a tablet. We talk about it almost every time I get it out now, because it was really nice of them to send it, because they heard me bitching about my Wacom tablet, and it's been very good. I only have one minor complaint, in that it always defaults to using Windows Ink, which I have to undo every time. Oh, check it out. It didn't this time. Well, maybe that's a thing of the past now, because that was really frustrating. I'd like to thank Wacom for giving me a tablet, a place to put it, because I've paid for a lot of Wacom tablets over the years. I think I've owned 4 or 5 of them. Yes. Perfectly spelled. Yeah, so I love this. Now, it has kind of a painterly feel to it, and I don't want to wreck that. We can upsize this, as this is pretty tiny. Now we could use a GAN to do this. I don't know that I want to use a GAN to do this, but we could. Let me set that up real quick here. So I'll show you guys how to use the GAN to do this. Well, or do I want to do that? Because that's going to be boring. We'll just upsize it this way. Because again, I don't want to lose the painterly aspect of this. This is the other thing I'm scared of. So we're going to image. We'll just do a simple image resize here. And I want to take this up. Let's add more DPI because I think we're going to print it eventually anyway. And inches, that's fine. Good enough for now. Yeah, good enough for now. All right, what I need to do here is I need to fix the eyes. That's like the biggest problem we've got. It did not resize very nicely, did it? It did not. See, I'm afraid that if I use my my resizer while you guys are on, that it might cause the video to clip. I'll tell you what, let me try it. So if you're having trouble with your video, that's the reason why. Give me just a second here and I will launch this thing. I'll show you how I'm launching it. How about I do that? It's really quite easy. So what I do is I have Stable Diffusion running on here, and I'm just going to launch it from this command prompt here. And that's it. And hopefully, again, it doesn't hurt the channel much. But now this will launch everything and get it going, and then we'll have a web interface that we can use to talk to it. And that's the thing that makes this so cool, is we can just run through. Again, I'm going to teach you guys how to set this up, but I'm going to do that in a video and not in today's stream. But I'm not happy with this upsizing right now. This is kind of meh. So I want to do another one. So sorry for changing it up on you. But again, prompting and all those kinds of things, we'll do a video on that. But this is, I think, more of the what are we doing, how are we working on things that you guys are here for. I could be wrong. Tell me what you want out of these live streams. I like live streams, and I know a lot of people get turned off by them. So I see people who leave the channel and don't come back because I do too many live streams. So you let me know what you think, because I'm all about them. I think they're really fun. Okay, it is almost ready. So just once it's running, it runs. You know, it's just easy to maintain. But if it's not running, then it's not running. So what we do here, and here we go. So this is Stable Diffusion running locally on my machine, which is pretty bitchin'. So from here, I can go and I can drag in that picture of, well, let's try the GFP GAN first to see what that does to her. So I'm just going to drag her in here. Whoops. Drop image here. Did that. Okay. And then hit generate. Okay, hopefully that wasn't horrible on you guys. And I'm going to save this image as, I'm just going to put it MidJourney upscale. Yeah, we'll just put it there. And then at the same time, if I wanted to use this, the upsizer here, we'll just do that again. Let's put that here and hit. And we can choose between this or the anime. And there's other ones too that I may install at some point. Hopefully this will go well. I'm wondering if the stream is going to be able to take that. It may not work. No. I'm going to abandon that, guys. Sorry. That's just not going to work while we're on the stream today. I was hoping it would, but it's causing a lot of pain. Yeah. Sorry about that. That was a mistake. I was trying to get it to work in here. But anyway, eventually I'm going to show you guys this because this is just so good. And there's a bunch of these out there. This is not the only one, but this is the one that I prefer the most. You have any chance to dive into MJ yet? Well, yeah, I love MidJourney. I guess just right now I'm kind of obsessed with this, so that's where I plan to play today. If it's okay with you folks. Let me go grab that upsized version there. I was really hoping that would have worked. Okay, and I'm just going to place it in here as well. We'll put it right over the top of the other one. So why we do that, why we like to generate both of these anyway, is because then we can actually use both of them. So here's the clean one on top, and then here's the not clean one underneath. So we can choose what bits and pieces we want to take. Yeah, if you get in here and you start using it, yeah, you'll want, your wife will be like, who are you? I haven't seen you before, or it's been a while, honey. All right, so what I do is I just put we'll call this the corrected one on top, and then the original one on the bottom, and I put a black mask over it so that we can't see the corrected one. And I'm going to use white paint and a regular brush, and I'm just going to paint right over the mask. So the mask looks like this. The mask is, think of it like tape, black tape all over, and wherever we kind of clear the tape off is what is allowing this layer to be seen. So we can say, well, I like her eyes. They're more unique in the original one, but I like the shape better. So let's play with parts of the shape, and then we can say, like, do we like this the mouth better in the new one or the old one? I think I'm kind of torn. I like both. We could borrow just the middle of the new one, like that. And again, if you use black paint, you can cover back up again. So we can say, well, I want just the middle. Just the lip texture, I think, is nicer here. But I like the rest of the lip. The nose, how do we look there? I like the old nose is better. It's just got a really great painterly feel to it, and I don't want to get rid of all that. How about up here? We got anything up here? It adds a little bit more detail, but again, I think I like... So it's really the eyes are the only part that I wanted. I guess that was my thing, because I do like the sketchiness of it. Okay, well, that was easy. So now let's go in and look at the eyes. So if we go back to this original one, we can mask in, again, using the black, we can bring back parts of the eyes that we like, because this part here is really interesting to me. That's really interesting. In fact, I like it. Let's do this. So we'll invert this just for a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab just these parts and put them on their own layer. This a little bit bigger. So that's just the corrected eyeball bits. And we need to invert this mask back again. Okay, why did I do that? Because now with this here, and I can apply this mask actually. I'm going to rasterize this first, and then we can apply this mask. Oops, I want to flip that the other way before we apply it. There we go. So now I can play with the blending modes on this. Just this one layer here. I guess I did that mask right the first time. What is Scott doing wrong today? Scott is having one of those days apparently. My mask is all weird. That's why. All right, let's just abandon that. Let's go back to not doing that. Let's just back up. I started to go down the rabbit hole and I broke my file. So let's just back up a bit here until we get back to where we were. Why is this free? The guy who's in charge of it, Iman, I don't know how to say his name. He's a bazillionaire, and he just wanted to kind of be able to give it away, which is very cool of him, obviously. So, like, what a great thing to be known for, you know? Okay, I want to take and use just the eyes here. So let's just take just her eyes. And I'm going to take them from this. This is just the eyes. I did that in a really convoluted way. I'm sorry, I'm kind of thinking through this by the way. Oh, my stream. Oh, my stream's supported by people who are given to the channel. So, you know, for the cost of $1 a month. You, by the way, several of you pay the professional fee. You get this you'll get this file when I'm done with it. So, I appreciate you folks. Owl Music is the only one here today from that. Then we've got Glamoury Hosiery Galia, who is not here today. Haven't seen her in a while. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Color dodge. So let's do color dodge. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a mask over that. And we're going to go back. We're just going to fill in where we want it. So here. Yeah, that's better than what we were handed to start with. So let's stick with it. That part. So now we're back to actually almost having a black mask over this entire thing. Gotta fix this. Let's fix that part. So we're just going to put a mask on it and go to liquefy and pull that down a little bit. A giant pen. Liquefy for the win. One of my favorite parts of Photoshop. Use it all the time. If you put a mask around it, by the way, it means it'll use less memory to try and do this instead of the whole darn file. This used to be a bigger problem because Photoshop would almost always crash before you went into, speaking of which, let's save that somewhere. Let's do, I'm trying to think where I'll put this. I'll put it with the other upsiles here. So I've just got so much stuff in my machine. I don't want to bore you with all that crap. Upscale, where are you? Upscale, there we go. Sorry, it's being a little scatterbrained today. Some of you are broke. Well, this is free. I mean, hey. Oh, you mean as far as participating in the thing? Oh, you probably spend money at Photoshop. What am I saying? At Starbucks, right? I'm your new Starbucks. Okay, so looking at this from a distance, it looks like this eye is a little weird. I need to pull this iris in a little bit. So they're both a little bit more on the round side. I don't know what's going on with this one. Maybe it's the other one that's wrong. I don't know. But I want the eyes to be a little bit more interesting. By the way, when the whites connect underneath on the bottom here, that's called canoeing. And it's a bad thing, usually, for a photographer to do. But if you shoot for a lot of like fashion magazines, they like it, which is weird. But normally it's not considered a positive unless you have gigantic eyes. I have some girls I've worked with before who have eyes that are just so huge. You're like, well, geez, woman, you can like see infrared with their eyes. They're so they're so wild. Okay, I'm going to take these eyes because we already flattened that layer, and let's just go and add them again. But let's not do it so we don't want to make it look like a kid did it here. Play with the wrong one. Here we go. So I'm just kind of looking at, it's almost always overlay or soft light that I'm interested in. Although hard light and vivid light are oftentimes interesting. The rest of these usually don't draw my attention, but I almost always look through them because you never know. Happy artistic accidents have been known to happen. So I think the overlay is the more interesting. It adds a lot of depth to her eyes there. No, it's not sponsored by Starbucks. I wish it was, but if you click on the join button down below for $5 a month, you're helping keep the channel alive. You actually can keep it alive for $1. There's a lot of people who donate just $1. You guys are awesome. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna put like just gonna grab a little white here and make a little scribble. I'll do this. Look, it's like a window. I guess it's right there. And we got the same kind of shape over here a little bit. So there's like a thing with that, like that. And this is too sharp. So I'm just going to do filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and then we don't want it to be that much. I mean, like 1. Just add some more interest to the eyes. That doesn't look super real. Let's do that again. This one is just a little bit. The reason is because it's too hard. The brush is too hard. The edge looks a little fakey. And while we're in here, let's play with the liquid line. There's a little line that runs underneath. Sorry, I can't draw that way. Runs underneath here. Just got little dots on it. Maybe some muck in here. And then we can use the blur tool here. Actually, we'll go and just blur a bit until it looks. There you go. That's much better. Yeah, there's a $5 a month membership. There's a $1 a month. There's a $10 a month. And there's $15. And there's a $100 a month one, which Galia actually does. So she's awesome sauce. Okay, so what I want to do now, let's mess with it. One of the other things you guys get, not to make this a commercial, but you guys get a bunch of textures for free. That's one of the things you get with the $5 a month. You get all these textures. And I've been painting these things for years. And they're all yours, so you can use them however you want to use them. Just don't sell them. But there's all kinds of them in here, and I love some of these. Let's use this one. So what I want to do here is just put it right over the top of this, and let's go. And first of all, we need to get this woman. Select subject. Select, and I hold down my shift key because I like the old version of this better. I don't like the new one so much. And we're just going to go around it real quick here. Real sloppy. Not super sloppy, but pretty darned sloppy. Why I'm doing this is I want the blurriness of the edge. I don't want it sharp. If you hold down your Alt key, you can turn off the selection. So if it was too aggressive, you can go back. It doesn't have to be perfect, by the way. You'll see. We can get away with murder here pretty much. I say that every time. Like, I'm not condoning murder. Okay. That's better. Now let's just go and put it right over the top of this. And then we can knock this back with a different blending mode. Again, it's almost always overlay or soft light. I like that one better, I think. But it's the wrong color. So we'll shift it. It's almost always 180 degrees. I don't know why, but that almost always works. Maybe not in this case. I think I like that. So is that a positive or a negative? Let's see. That's a positive, but it's too focused. I'll blur it a lot because it's going to be in the background, and it can't be sharper focused than her face. Bald hot chick. I mistyped her name. Oh, Galia for Queen. Yeah, she is. She's awesome. Is that blurry enough that it's not quite blurry enough? Let's go a little bit more. 5 more. There, that adds more sketchy feel to it. So by the way, the reason I do this, if you're wondering why are you taking time to add a texture, it doesn't do much for the image. The thing is that your brain is convinced it's a painting or a drawing most of the time based on the background. The subject itself is kind of a secondary thing. So if the background is painterly and the border is painterly, you're more likely convinced that this is a painting than a photo. Now I'm going for something that looks more like a painting right now, obviously. And that's just the feel I want here. And I'm going to take this corrected version and bring that up to the top again here. And let's, because we don't need this part anymore. what I want to see is if there's other parts of this that I want to bring into play now. I do like the painterly feel of this, so I don't know that I will, but I want to test it. So none of this neck down in here, none of this stuff has been corrected, which is fine. We want any of the head, any of this facial features here, the cheek maybe, the neck. No. Actually, I do like this side a little bit. Maybe. No. Stay with consistency. But it's worth trying. Okay, what else would we do? Let's dodge and burn this thing. Let's add some life to it. So dodge and burn is just it's a blank layer, and you just fill it full of gray, which is shift backspace, and we set it to overlay. Oh yeah, don't forget to thumbs up the video, because if nobody knows it's happening, then I won't do them anymore, right? And it's not like you have to pay for it. You just gotta, it's like clapping, right? Virtually clapping. Just click the like button. That's what else do you gotta do? It's not that hard. So we're just gonna use dodge and burn here. We're just gonna brighten this because she's kind of alien. Let's feature these a little bit more. And all I'm doing is drawing on this gray layer. Anything brighter than 50% gray is screen mode. Anything darker than 50% gray is a multiply. So it's all done on one layer. But that's all you're really doing. It's not really anything more than that. Let's do this here. More stuff. I was gonna do a body paint next weekend, but I forgot it was Memorial Day. My wife's like, "Are you gonna be able to do that?" I'm like, no. I'm running a 3080. Yeah, I apologize for the early fail early on in the stream there, trying to get this to upsize. Apologize for that. I gave up. Couldn't get it to work. Too many things running at once here. That'll be fun to try and make a video of it, huh? Oops. First thing you do? What's the first thing you do? Dodge and burn? I love dodge and burn. And it's relaxing. Just in there, kind of add a little something to it. I do not use pressure sensitivity on my tablet, by the way. I turn it off because otherwise, when you touch the canvas, it'll start to make a little pucker mark. If a live stream falls in the woods and no one hears it, I like the if a tree falls in the forest by itself in a Canadian forest. Do you apologize? Do you not apologize? It's so friendly. There we go. So just a little bit of dodge and burn. Sometimes I'll double this layer up just to see what happens. Like it's too much in the neck, but I kind of like it on the face maybe. Let's go in here and fix this though, because we can't run it this aggressively with all this other stuff on her neck here. So we're gonna draw this back as gray, and then that should get rid of it. So this is all. She looks a little more angry now, by the way. So she came from here, and now we're here. So I'm pretty happy with that. Let's add a little bit of junk, some sort of mist or stuff. I have a bunch of textures in here. Let's go textures, dust. Yeah, again, these are all overlays I've collected over the years. I think there's a link in the description actually for where I got these. I use them almost every single image. I mean, I really love them because they add just a little something. And sometimes I hate it, but I almost always try it. It's always a no if you don't ask, right? This is not snapping. There we go. So and then we'll just turn that layer to probably screen, and then because it kind of messes with stuff, we'll have to take it and apply a curve to it. If we put a curve on it, this is the curve for this now, so we can affect it. For example, if we don't want it to affect the darkness, let's just move it up, and then it only affects the lighter parts of the image. But we can also do it this way. So we can say we'll adjust it subtly. The curve is probably the most powerful thing in all of Photoshop. And it's one of those things people don't tend to use. I think this is fine, but I don't love it. We're just going to heal away some of these inside right on the texture page here. Just want to get rid of a few of them in weird places, but overall, I don't mind that. Yeah, I don't know how many times I've used this thing so much. I can't even tell you what a great investment this was. Do I love this? I don't know. I don't know that I love this. Let's try again. My wife's like, I can't believe you work on something for like an hour and then you just throw it away. I'm like, well, if I hate it, don't keep trying to make it work if you hate it. Just evaluate it. If you don't like it, destroy it. Move along. Like, don't hang around with it. Let's go more aggressive, just to be funny. By the way, I actually took a bunch of these myself outside in the snow once. I think it's all these. So this is just me with a on-camera flash, and I just pointed it up at the snow. So as the snow hit it, it just kind of made them bokeh. Yeah, I used curve. God, every image. So we grab these are huge, by the way, as I recall. So again, it's just trunk it right over the top, throw it into screen mode, and then yeah, this is more interesting. And then what I want to do is I need to shift the color of it. Somewhere in here. Let's see. I think I like more of this burgundy. And then let's mask it over this whole thing. And then, oh, actually, let's just mask it, and then we'll decide where we don't want it. So we don't want it over her face directly. I don't mind it on her head. That's actually kind of interesting. Do I like it here? Maybe I do. I don't like it over here. If you hit the slash key in the top of the keyboard above your enter key, you can draw with it while it's active, so you can kind of see what you're masking. This is a lot easier than trying to guess. And then just hit that. So this is your mask reveal key. Super handy. Okay, that's nice. So here's our before. That's where we started. And here's where we are now. So it's pretty good. Aside from my hiccup in the middle there. Hit save. Throw it into just a second here. I'll put it in here. Okay, what else do we want to do? Let's color grade it. Let's curve it again, actually. So once we've kind of applied these things, let's kind of finalize what we want it to look like. So the curve is really cool. So let's talk about curves a bit, because I said it's like the most powerful thing in Photoshop, and I probably just want to let's belabor it for a second there so you understand what we're looking at. This is your dark black here, and this is your white over here. The 50% gray is actually when these are directly across from each other, right? So we don't want this, but we can use that knowledge. By the way, if you stand it straight in its head, no matter where you stand it, you're going to get super most contrasty thing. What this is interesting for is if you move the black point up, now we know for a fact there's no longer an actual black anywhere in this image. Like even the darkest part will no longer be black because it can't be. This is the lowest that we're allowing the curve to be. So this part of the curve here is really powerful. Now the other side is also the same. This is the brightest white is up here. So it says that there's a couple pieces that are very white, and if we don't know what those are, we can actually move the curve to it and say, well, where is that? Well, it's going to be in that zone there. we can actually use the eyedropper here. And if you hover over, actually, let's use this instead. If you hover over this, you can see where it is on the curve. So if you're looking for a specific area, it'll show you where on the curve that part is. So if we want her skin brighter, we know we have to move this point up, and then we can move everything else down. So now we've got an image where her skin is just a little bit brighter, but everything else isn't. You want to avoid making curves that are inverted, like this shape. Not avoid, but it isn't against the rule. But just be aware that when you pull down on a curve and it's an upside down S, it's usually not as pleasing. If you don't like a point, just drag it off. All right, so let's just start out again. What I want to do is I want to lift the blacks. Oh, by the way, let's talk about the auto key. So if you hit auto, it'll do something. It'll make this. Like, why is that handy? How does it know what I want? It doesn't. If you click Alt-click, again, I'm a PC guy. I don't know what the Mac equivalent is. It brings up these methods by how you want auto to work. So enhanced brightness and contrast is fine. Yes, Lithium, this will be open. This will be available for about 24 hours. Then we'll go into the member area along with, I don't know, the 90 other ones. If you want just to find the light and dark colors, which is usually how I leave this. Enhance per channel contrast will kind of almost color correct it. And you can see that here in the graph. It moved each color, the red, green, and blue as well. It kind of left the luminosity the same, but it moved the red, green, and blue around. And then monochromatic contrast is just, again, playing with the luminosity. So I tend to use this one or this one. I'm sorry, this one or this one. They're just more interesting. Again, but sometimes this is good enough. In this case, I actually almost kind of like this one better. I don't like the color corrected version better. I think I like the green hint to it. But this is what it's telling me. Again, I don't want a black. I think right now the trend is to not have a black. It just seems to be like the thing that everybody's embracing. So I'm just going to lift that end up. So now there is no true black anywhere in this image. Okay. And I always like to look at it from a distance. Like you guys, you see my hands up here where I see the little image, but you guys got to be able to see it too. So if you zoom all the way out and you look at it, like where's your eye drawn, you know, to the face, to the eyes, it's also drawn up here. So that's one, it's an area of weakness almost. So I would probably do is go back to this, my background here, and grab just a simple burn tool and go up and try and burn that in just a bit, because it's just a bit too dark. So now if I back up, that's much better than that bright area. So again, I'm just evaluating it from here. What's the area of highest contrast? It's here. Where's the areas of sharpness? It's here. And where's the face? It's here. So your eye will go here and your eye will stay here. So a very powerful way to control how a person looks at an image. I'm really happy with that. I think this texture here is a bit sharp. This dust texture that we used. So if we turn that off, let's just say here, we're going to go filter and blur this a little bit. It's just a bit too much. I could see it. So I don't want to see the edges of these pieces. Like it's just supposed to be hint. I think these collarbones are a bit too... Yeah, I don't think I did myself a favor there. Let's get rid of those. And I could have turned the contrast on that down a bit if I wanted to. Do we double up the face here? Yeah, I think I'm going to go back to just that. I'm okay reevaluating what I've done, you know, constantly. That's one of the things that's fun, I think, about doing art and making something. These are the same image. We don't need those anymore. Now let's do a color lookup on this. So color lookup is just kind of again a coloration, almost a style, but I'm looking for inspirations here. So I'm just going to roll through these and see if one jumps out to me. Oh, wow. Check you out, man. You gifted a membership. I didn't even know you could do that. That's the first time anyone's ever done that. Thanks, man. I wonder how that works. How does that work? That's pretty cool. Ooh, futuristic bleak. I kind of like this one. Well, thank you. Owl Music has gifted a membership. I had somebody the other day who clicked on that little button to donate to the stream too, but it was after the video. So I get a little tiny notification saying someone is, what do they call it? Super chat. I think it's pretty common for gamers to get those, but I have never had somebody do one of those during a stream. That was pretty cool. Different thing. All right, so I'm just going to put this at like 50% here, but I have a mask. So if we want to, we could say, you know, I really just want this whole area here to be all of her glory, all of her color in here. Thank you, man. That was really kind of you. Very awesome. Okay, so all it does is apply this color lookup over the outside area and not the face. Oh man, that's awesome. Ryan, check you out. You got leveled up, my friend. That's very cool. Okay, so let's save this, and I think this one's done. Let's do one more. We got time for one more. Let's go back to give me a second here. I gotta find my stuff. And make sure there's no nudity on here. All right, what's the other one? I really like this one too. It's just awesome. You had no idea how it worked. You're gonna have to tell me how that worked. So did you have to pick it, or I really like this one too. Let's do this one. So we drag this image in on top of the layer stack. It'll open as a new document. Just save it into the other one. Okay, yeah, I like this one. This has just got so much personality going, but it's got some easy stuff we got to fix. Plus, I think we can add to it a bit. So let's just start right away by getting rid of the stuff that's obvious. We got to get rid of whatever this parasite that she's growing up her back here. Now, I try and do the Tuesday live stream at the same time, so it's almost always 11:30 Central Time. That's just kind of the typical day or time that I do it. So, but otherwise, I've been doing them randomly. Like when I want to work on something, I just like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do as a live stream because I think you guys like them. I know the channel. I'm not sure what everyone likes yet to see if people get annoyed by them. If they're more of like people who like, I just want to be notified when you're making a video, and I don't want to be notified when you're doing these dumb live streams. Like, okay. I have one guy who's like, they're too long. Like, okay. How I create CB editing. I don't know what a CB editing is, so. But if I did, I'd help you. I'd try and help you. All right, what do I like about this? Let's take this, and we're gonna duplicate it again, because this is just a fix. So this is a fix. And now I want to liquefy this thing. So again, I'm gonna liquefy. I had this real inspiration. So let's freeze her face here. So we're masking her face so we don't grab that because no one wants their face stretched. Last I checked. So do that. We'll just protect all this in case we get a little drunk with our thing. And then we can grab this and we can pull. So I was wanting to pull this. I just thought it would be interesting if we pulled it sideways. more Yeah. These videos are never too long. I'll tell my wife that. My wife's like, God, because she's upstairs. She's like, gotta be quiet, whatever. You don't have to be quiet. Nobody's gonna hear you. I'm 3D printing someone in the other room right now. You're more likely to hear that than anything she's gonna do. We'll be married 30 years this October. Okay, so this background here, you may not be able to see that. It's actually, we're benefiting from the fact that this is low resolution because we're getting like this texture in through here. If we didn't have this texture, this would start to be banding. So here in the morning. What I want to do is I want to add another one of those textures, I think. Again, I don't want to wreck the mood of it, and I do like that it is somewhat open, but I can see this modeling in here, which kind of bothers me. So let's embrace it. Let's put some texture on it. And again, these are, let's just use the textures you guys get. So everyone gets these textures here. These are all, again, most of these are ones I've hand painted over the years. I love this one. By the way, I do these with have this, I don't know if you see this or not, you can actually see the cracks in it and stuff. Been starting to consume more and more live streams as of late. The length doesn't bother me as I can watch while I work. Yep. That's the same way I am. I'm an audiobook guy too. Like I put an audiobook on, and I think I like this direction here. And I just play in the background. Okay, and again, this can't be sharper than the image, otherwise it's going to look goofy. So let's start out again. Let's filter. Oops. We gotta find her. And again, we want to use the reason we liquefied first is because if we use if we use this layer, it'll have this hair and not this hair. So we need to use the correct layer. So I have to liquefy before we texture. So filter, select and mask. Hold down Shift key. And that's not the right one. Let's try it again. Select and mask. Let's select subject first. That's what I'm forgetting. There we go. Then select and mask. There we go. So now we can go around this hair here, and it should be a dream to just cut that out super fast. And again, got to do the shoulders and everything else too. It's all part of the body, but don't try and do it all at once, because Photoshop has trouble with that. So Photoshop, by the way, for all of you who don't know, is actually getting a diffusion system in as well. It'll have a latent diffusion. So you'll be able to do, hopefully, some image generation inside of Photoshop at some point, depending on what it is they, again, plan to do with it. So I'm going to save the selection, because I always forget to. And then if we go and we mask this out, you see how we get this weird edge? It's because this is too sharp and this is not, this is too blurry. So we have to blur this first. So blur... doesn't blur it. I want to pick a big one. Let's pick like 9. And that looks better. Okay, and it doesn't have to be perfect because again we're gonna use a blending mode, which will help fake it up. So. I think a multiply might have been the best choice. Yeah, let's go with overlay, and I'm too close to it. Get it back up. And we need to fix the color. Or find a color we love anyway. Do I love this? I don't know. I don't know that I love what I've done here. Yeah, I don't like it. I think we need something else. You know what I almost want? I almost want one of those goofy, where was our, I was trying to think if I want to use some of my steampunk stuff from the other day, but I don't know that I want it in this image. Maybe I do. Let me go find that real quick here. Just take me 2 seconds. Because we've got this. There's a lot of nudity in this one, I know for a fact. Steampunk cat. Here we go. Steampunk cat. Which, by the way, was a really fun project. I think we all had fun with that one. I had a bunch of random pieces in here. Steampunk. Yeah. Let's use this one here. Kind of almost the same thing we did with our cat. I just really like this. I think even when I took it, I said I'm gonna like this just because the shape of it is nice. Make her into a sad clown. She is a sad clown already. She's upset. She's quite overclumped. There we go. We need to put this behind her a lot. So like this, and it's too obvious. That might be too much. Let's go 6. Yeah, that's better. And then we can just take and get rid of it when we don't want it. It's also the wrong color. Or it's just to take the color off of it. Yeah. That's more interesting. Okay, let's throw a dodge and burn layer on here. Yeah, I liked this picture. I don't know what about it appealed to me, but it's not my typical thing. Let's give her some, let's pop these things out a bit. We could again we could give her a catch light if we want to. But it would be above her. So it would be here. I kind of want it to be a little bit wider, maybe. Then we need to blur that. Filter. Let's see, she's the same. It's too much. Filter, blur, cozy blur. Blur. And I need to harden that edge up, the top edge a little bit, so it looks like it's under her lid. Yeah, it's just freaky. It adds the freaky factor. Go this a little bit. You notice I almost always do the same thing to every image. I'm very consistent. People tell me that. They're like, I can spot your stuff from a mile away. And I'm like, really? I don't have style. Do I like those catch lights? I don't know that I do. Lower them a bit. Any thoughts on white eye reflections versus colored ones? You could try colored ones. Let's try it. So we'll use color eyes here. And we can fiddle with them. Let's make them brighter. This whole layer needs to come back up so we can see what we're doing. And we got to turn it off screen mode. Yeah, good call. They're the color of the light, so whatever the light is what they would be. But I think in this case this is more interesting, so it's a good call. just want a little something there. They add life to the image, and images without catch lights tend to suffer that way. So I almost always add one if they're not there. Plus, it's a creepy image, which benefits from, yeah, from that. How about some, let's do one more texture thingy, but we're going to do it, we're going to apply it differently. Let's go here. Dust again, dust, because she looks like she's in some sort of a storm there, kind of, sort of. Let's use, God, I cannot believe how often I have used these things over the years. I do have these for sale, by the way, but I don't recommend you buy them. I think the better deal is that giant one I've got listed in the description. I don't make a ton of money off that either, but I think it's just a better, I mean, get what, 16,000 overlays. Again, about maybe 6,000 of them are useful, and the other ones are just, what? Why would I ever use that? But they're there. Let's try this here. So I'm just going to put it right over the top of this. And rasterize it. And what I want to do is I'm going to we'll blur it, but we're going to blur it directionally. So I'm going to use a motion blur sideways, like that, long one, like this. And we need to curve that again. Curve, curve, curve. It's always a curve. Love the curves. So without it, something is broken here. What did we break? We broke this relationship here. And hue and saturation, because it needs to be colorized. Again, just that needs to have some color to it that's interesting. Again, orange feeling. So this affects the visibility because it's set to overlay. So again, it's screen mode or it's a multiply, right? So we can affect how it's being seen instead of using this opacity, which I rarely use. I think I used it today, which is the first time in like a long time I've used it. And I want to blur this a little bit more, I think. So I'm just going to Gaussian blur that one. Put these in a package and let's duplicate it and see if we want more than one. I do. I like that. And let's put a bundle on these and put a mask on this because I don't like these pieces over here, I think. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have that problem. Yeah. And put a color lookup on top of the whole thing just because it's easy. I always love this one. I don't know why. I love it every time. Oh, that's interesting. I think I like this one, but not at full strength. Let's take it in. Let's just knock it back. Again, look at it from a distance. I don't mind this bright spot here because it's kind of, again, it's our light source. So I don't mind that it's existing there. Yeah, so we started here and we ended here. I don't know if I like these. I don't know that I like these. I'm not sold on them. I think that was a mistake. Or maybe less of a hint. There we go. That's better. That's not Captain Obvious. There we go. That was fun. There we go. Two pieces of work done today, and a lot more yet to go. So obviously, this is not a Hang on, I'm trying to bring this up again. Filter. So these are all the ones that I want to do. And there's 191 of them in here. Some of them are really, wow. Again, this was 1 day of generating using a local stable diffusion install. So, and I'm not using a Colab notebook, which should probably be a lot easier. Yeah, I was playing with some fairies. I was playing with, again, different rendering techniques. Again, the artists you reference, I did a whole thing on the references, the artists that we reference, and how they're applied. Now, sometimes I get two heads. The reason I save this one is I love this face. So I may end up borrowing that face and then deleting that head, or maybe just take that head clean off and you know, work with the. This would actually be pretty good. We should do this one next time, actually, because this is a lot of work in here to do that, but it's not super scary. And then again, limited palette, like a Zorn palette here. So that's ZORN. If you want to try that on MidJourney today, I bet you get some great results from it. Again, it's a limited palette, so it creates a unique look. Oh yeah, I have big news. I keep forgetting. I got big news. So tomorrow, I'm getting information from my my print vendor of where I get all my stuff professionally printed for clients, right? So I have two different vendors. I have a vendor for like stuff where I'm just going to sell online, and it's fine, right? But if you're paying my rates for a big piece of art to hang on your wall, it gets printed from a professional vendor, and that's H&H Color Lab. That's who I use. And they're not sponsoring this video or anything. It's just actually who I use. But they're going to be, they're supposed to be giving me an idea for what they want as far as a competition. So we're going to do an AI art competition, and I want you all to enter, right? I want a lot of entries in this thing. And the winner's going to get, they're going to print a nice size canvas of your winning piece. That, again, professional print lab. So this will be something amazing. And that's going to be the goal. And I want to do this like every 2 weeks. Like I want to do this and make it a thing. So pick a theme, and then we'll get 2 weeks to play with it. And again, I don't think you should stop with the prompt. I want you to get in there and use some of the stuff we're covering in this channel from a Photoshop standpoint. Take your photography and blend it in. I mean, whatever you want to do, but you have to start with an AI piece, right? That's an AI competition. But I don't want to make it only AI, because again, that's, in a way, I want you to use your capabilities. Zorn means rage in your language. It's Anders Zorn. I think he's a Swedish artist, actually, that came up with that. So yeah, it's his last name. So they're gonna sponsor that competition, or at least they're gonna sponsor the winner and give them a giant print. So we're gonna do a big thing on that when we kick it off, and then we'll go through, and then we have some professional print competition judges. I'm a print competition judge, so I fly around the nation and I judge print competitions. I'm actually leaving for Chattanooga in like a week and a half, and then I'm in Portland, Oregon. I'm in Florida, and then I'm back in Texas, and then I'm in Florida again. So I'll fly all over for this. But I judge a lot of these things. So I've got myself and a few others, and we're going to look through all the entries, and we're going to pick the winner. And we're going to do it blind, by the way. So when you submit your entries, we're going to do, I'll announce how we're going to do this. So I don't want to know whose images they are. Like, I don't want to play favorites. So we're going to do a completely blind judging. And it's always done that way, by the way, in a print competition. No one ever knows whose images are whose image, because you don't want to have that favoritism thing going on. And you can have nudity in it. Like, I don't have any limits with that. That's, again, I'm a boudoir photographer. That doesn't freak me out at all. But maybe we don't do nudity for the first one, because they do want it to be a public competition, and I can't show the winner on YouTube if it's got boobs in it, because boobs. But we'll do something. I'll figure out what the exact rules are going to be. But I'm hoping to launch that in the next week or so. I was hoping to launch it tomorrow, but I don't think I'm going to get it done. I got way too much stuff to handle otherwise. But I do want to get you guys motivated for it. So it will probably, unfortunately, be after the MidJourney beta has been turned off. But it gets 2 weeks. And if MidJourney is any good indication of how fast they like to move on these things, we should see another, either a final version 4 coming out, or maybe another test coming out. So you'll get a chance at it. But again, even using just your cell phone and similar lighting, use a friend's face or whatever. I want you to not just leave it at AI art and call it good. Now, for those of you who are into just leaving it AI art and saying that's good enough, There will be other ways you can probably enter that and win it. I mean, who knows? You might produce something amazing. I'm not gonna say you have to use photography or whatever, but it'd be nice if you did, right? Or at least bash some pictures together, right? Like we're doing in here, take things and mess them together. This is just me rambling about it. Anyway, that's what I want to do. But well, anyway, thanks for hanging with me today, guys. You guys were awesome. You were super chatty. Thank you, Owl Music, for sponsoring the sponsorship, or membership, which I never knew was a thing. So that's very cool. Yeah, so I look forward to it. It's gonna be fun. I will do my video on how to run this locally. I'll try and get that done today or tomorrow. I got a couple other videos I need to do. And then when I leave for Chattanooga, I will be gone for 4 days. And I want to make sure I have some things recorded because YouTube likes to drop a person off the face of the earth if they aren't there within every 72 hours. So there'll be more videos coming. Right. Anyway, thanks for hanging with me today, guys. You guys were awesome. I appreciate the chit-chattiness. And thanks for clicking the like button. Well, we got 56 likes and 60 viewers, which just means 4 of you decided not to clap. But that's really good because normally it's like very few people click like. But everybody, all right. I had a phone call to stop watching for a bit. Ask what prompt you use to get the AI face to show portrait image. Oh, yeah, let me talk about that super briefly. If you hung out to the end, here's a bonus. So anytime you say the word beautiful or smile or something like blue eyes, you're kind of saying to the AI, prove to me that these are things that you used. So if she's far away and she's got blue eyes, well, that isn't helpful. So anytime you're kind of calling attention to a detail, the AI has to prove to you that it did it. So if you say beautiful, it's got to zoom in, right? So most of the time when you say beautiful, you're going to end up with a portrait. Now, if you want full body, don't say full body. Like that usually doesn't work. What I would say is she's standing on something, and then describe her feet or describe something like that. And it will help the AI. Again, it has to prove to you that she's standing on something. You still might get a portrait out of it, but more than likely you're not going to get a portrait. You're going to end up with a full body because it's got to show you that she's standing on something. I was doing some people for floating, for example, in space, and I ended up with a couple portraits, but most of them were full body, and they were very interesting that way. But yeah, again, there's so much to this, what do they call it, prompt engineering, where you're attempting to work the AI and work it backwards. I have a couple